Hi boys and girls, before we go any further with a new hands-on equations lesson, we are going to learn how to write out our steps algebraically because that is what you're going to be expected to do in middle school. So you're still going to want to have your pieces today. You're going to want to have your cubes and your pawns in order to work out the problems, but you're also going to want to have your pencil and a math notebook handy so that you can also write out the steps. So we're going to go ahead and get started by setting up our first problem. So here we're going to set up 2x plus 4 equals x plus 10. And we also would want to write this algebraically on our sheet of paper. So I'm just going to write it over here. 2x plus 4 equals x plus 10. All right, and then we're just going to follow our steps thinking about our legal moves that we have learned. So remember, we've learned that anytime you remove the same value simultaneously, that is a legal move because it does not change the balance of the equation. So we're going to start with our pawns. I'm going to remove a pawn from each side. So as I do that, watch how I write it algebraically. So I subtracted an x from this side and I subtracted an x from this side. And so now I'm going to write what is left on my balance. So on the left-hand side, I have 1x plus 4. And on the right-hand side, I have a 10. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove our value. So I have a value of 10 on the right-hand side and a value of 4. So at the most I can remove is 4. So I'm going to subtract 4 from this side. And when I subtract 4 from this side, I'm going to end up getting 6. So watch how I write that. I subtracted 4 from this side and 4 from this side, right? If you do the same thing, it will not change the value of the equation. So then we are left with the answer of x equals 6. Okay, so we would go here and we could fill in our answer and say that x equals 6. And now I need to check it. Watch how I'm going to write out my check. So I have 2 x's, so it's going to be 6 plus 6 plus 4 equals 6 plus 10. That is how I'm going to write my check out. You could also write it out as 2 times 6 plus 4 equals 6 plus 10. That would also be acceptable. And when you get your final check, you will end up getting 6 plus 6 plus 4, so we would have 16, and 6 plus 10 would be 16, and so our final check would be 16 equals 16. All right, let's solve another one. So you're going to want to clear your boards. And again, you're going to want to get a new space so that you can write algebraically because that is going to be the focus of today's work. It's not just solving it, but being able to write out the steps. We're going to do 2 more together, but at any time, if you're feeling confident, you can go on and start working on your problems today. All right, the next one that we're going to solve is going to be 3x equals x plus 12. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and set up the problem. So we have 3 x's on one side, and we have x plus 12 on the other side. Again, you can create 12 however you wish to create it. I'm going to use a 10 and a 2. Okay. All right, and you would also want to write this equation on your paper so that you could write it out algebraically, which is what you will be expected to do in algebra class in middle school. So the first thing that you're going to do is we need to remove one pawn. So we're going to remove one x from each side. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to write it down. Minus x. Minus x. And I'm going to be left with 2 x's equals 12. And so now I just need to solve it. So each x is going to be the same, and if they equal 12, that means 1x is going to be equal to 6. All right, we need to go back and do our check. Remember, you want to set the problem up, and then for each one of these, you want to input what your value is. So we're going to have 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 6 plus 12. Or you could choose to do 3 times 6 equals 6 plus 12. Either way, you'll end up getting 18 equals 18, and so that'll be the check. Okay, friends, your goal is to not only work out the problems with the kit today, but I'm really going to be looking to see that you're able to write them out algebraically and submit your work, and then you'll be able to move on to our next lesson, which we are going to start to see some equations that start to have some parentheses. Good luck, mathematicians.